The one Paul here today. I'm going to go over kind of what I'm kind of doing while the market is doing its thing. I'm going to go over my kind of like two ways that I'm kind of making income while Bitcoin's doing whatever it wants to do. And of course, you can day trade, but let's spy. But hold on, let me get there. Bitcoin, it's doing a lot of up, down, sideways. Which way is it going to go, kind of thing. So it's very hard to get any kind of profit when Bitcoin is kind of going sideways. It's not going majorly. It's not going up, or it's not dipping. It's just up, down, up, down. Uh, I'm going to go over what I'm doing to kind of grow a little bit of extra money on the side uh, until until the market goes up. The first thing I'm going to go over real briefly is just crypto.com. And basically, what that is just staking. Staking certain cryptos. And, I just started doing this as a test run. I have just a little bit of Cro here. And I staked it for, I think, 30 days. When is it ending? It's ending like, let's see. So I staked it. So I've earned just a little bit of the Cro, and Cro is a way to, you can put a lot onto it and you can stake it and kind of grow a little bit of passive income doing it that way. So staking Cro, because Cro is the coin for the crypto.com, and if nothing else goes wrong with the exchange, it should be around for a while. So you can get a little passive income doing it that way. The only other way, other way that I'm doing really is I'm learning. I'm not really. I've really kind of educated myself with calls and puts with. Well, I've looked into mainly doing it with. Recently, in the past, I've done it with AMC, but I think I'm moving towards SPY. So, real quick, what I'm going to do is kind of show you. We look at the. I just changed it, but we look at SPY, and since it's the weekend now, the market's closed. So what I can tell, and I'm not going to zoom out really, but you can basically tell that SPY has had a continually. It goes down, but it over time it really just goes up. It may have moments where it goes down a little bit, but then it goes up again. So overall, it goes up, which is why SPY is probably the most expensive. Well, it's one of the most expensive ones that you can purchase a call or put onto. So let's just say right now what we can figure out, and this is how I would make a little bit of passive income. We could tell right here on the day that maybe this might take Monday. This might be Monday or Tuesday when the 13 and the 48 start crossing. And I've talked about this before. When the 13 and the 48 start crossing, that's when it signals it's going to go up, or a trend up. So you can figure that out and figure out that the price is probably going to keep going up, and it already goes up over time pretty good. So I look at the price and I purchase a call. So let's just go backtrack a little bit here. And like I said, this is the most expensive one. And so you can go out from July 27th, July 29th. But let's just say you wanted to do 2 weeks out. So you want to do 2 weeks out and you want to do a call on it. So if you waited Now this this would be rather risky doing it this way, but it's cheap too. If you think that SPY is going to go up to 600 or more in the next 2 weeks, it's very cheap to buy a call. It'll cost you $1. And the reason why it's probably so cheap is because the likelihood of that happening, the likelihood of it jumping to $600, probably not going to happen in 2 weeks. But that's a very cheap call to get if it does happen. Let's just check that one real quick. If you bought one, if you bought $1 worth in, come on. If it did jump, you would make a lot of money if it did jump to 600 or more. But probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be in 1 or 2 weeks. It's probably going to be these lower numbers if we go down here. So these are some pretty cheap ones. Am I on call or put? Call. Yeah, because these prices, why they're so cheap right here, it's probably unlikely that the reason the prices are cheap is because it's very unlikely that it's going to go to that price or beyond. It's more likely to hit, like the 4 or 5 levels or even lower. That's when they get a little bit more expensive. Because let's look at the 400 call here. If you bought one, it would cost you $256 for that call. So what would have to end up happening? The price would have to get, you would have to get to $402 to break even. And if it goes up more than that, you're in profit. And that's kind of how you make, but you do not want to be doing this, just blind guessing this. What I would suggest you do is you at least read the charts and try to figure out, okay, because you're putting a lot of, if you're doing calls and puts, especially with the SPY, you're putting a lot of money into it, so you want to be right. You want to be right. You don't want to lose money. So from my judgment, we can see that the EMAs are going to hit. So if I were to put in a call, I probably would have based it on like I would probably put it in for 378. That's what I would personally do, because the EMAs are going to cross and then it's going to go up. It already goes up, so that's why SPY itself is pretty expensive. So that was, what was that? That was 378. Let's see what the price they have for 378. So let's find a 378, and you can know that's going to get expensive. 378, if you wanted to put your call in at 378, yeah, it's expensive. You know why it's expensive? Because you're more than likely to get gains from that point. So people are going to profit like I said, at that point, people are going to profit. But if you don't have that, you got to stick to the cheaper prices. And from where it is right now, it's at 396. So you can dip down 396. So you can basically say this is the price, the 396 right here. It's the cheapest you can go right now is maybe the 435. See, it's 435, but the price would have to go, you break even at $400. So it would have to jump past $400 for you to be in profit. Which is why the lower you go here, the lower you go, the more money you're going to make, but you're going to be paying more. And like I said, SPY is a very good one to do calls on because the trend, if we look at the trend overall of SPY, let's just briefly look at the trend over time. Now it has gone down. Well, it has gone down because the everything's going down. But overall, if you stretch this out, you see that it's a slow moving up. It goes up. Right now it's down a little bit, but it kind of goes up. It goes up. It never kind of. It's not like Bitcoin where it takes these massive dips. It constantly it'll dip a little bit, then goes back up. Dip a little bit and go back up. So the question you want to ask yourself is, when is it going to be dipping, and when is it going to go back up? So you see, there's little dips, it goes back up. Little dips, goes back up. Little dips, goes back up. So what we could tell from this pattern, just look at this pattern right here. Dips, goes back up. 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 Notice it usually has that pattern. So it might be going down come Monday morning. But anyway, that's kind of how I would make a little bit of extra money doing you got to get yourself educated with calls and puts. I would personally do not, since this pattern right here, you see dip goes up, dip goes up. If you put in a call and it goes down, then you're going to lose money. So the trend here, see if it's gone up a little bit, it's probably going to go down a little bit. I would wait for it to go down, and then I probably would come in for my call. So that is what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a week right there of it going up. So it's probably going to be going down. Just my opinion. But anyway, that's how you make a little bit extra money on it. If you're right, you will make a little bit money on the side. You can take that. You can take that money. You can compound it. You can put it on Cro and gain some interest that way. So there's little things that you can do while Bitcoin is doing its thing. Anyway, that's kind of like my strategy. Those are the two things that I'm currently doing to earn a little bit extra money while the crypto is deciding on what to do. Anyway, guys, like the video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.